Ayun. Welcome to the third BitPinas Webcast 2022. So, this is episode 7 already, and hopefully you continue to learn about crypto, NFT play to earn landscape dito sa atin because of our webcast, and sana madami kayong matutunan. Without further ado, let's bring our co-host Chin. Huh? Hi Chin.
Hey
Wala
Mike.
ka last week.
Hello, sorry.
Hello.
I am having connection problems. But
Yeah,
wala ako last webcast last
yes, last
week.
webcast pala.
Oo. Sayang
So,
kasi NFTs yung diniscuss nyo nun. But yeah,
yeah,
looking forward to more NFT episodes for our webcast in the future.
yeah. So, last week nga actually, or feedback pa daw kami magbabarkada. Nag-uusap sa stream. So, but right now, I'm not sure if that will be the case because our guest tonight is none other than Arvie de Vera of Union Bank and now co-founder of UnionDigital, which is one of the only six licensed
Mm.
digital banks in the country. So, hi Arvie.
Hey RV.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Chin.
Yeah.
Good
So,
evening.
everyone, so to our audience, everyone here knows Union Bank. Every crypto here knows and probably deals with this bank. They are the first bank to publicly commit to blockchain and have many projects related to blockchain, such as yung project I2I, Accelerator, bonds.ph.
Mm.
So there are many people are saying that they're the most crypto friendly bank in the Philippines. Kaso totoo pa ba ito ngayon? And but because recent reports on social media indicate otherwise. So together with RB, we will discuss the crypto and blockchain landscape and discuss these ongoing reports. And at the end of the show, let's talk about yung Union Digital, yung bagong digital
Yeah.
bank na head ngayon ni RB. And yeah, for our raffle, so last week, nakalimutan na yung magpa-raffle. So tonight we'll do it again. 500 um, each, courtesy of Joe from UnionBank's and LSL League. So SLP to. So unfortunately, not in your UB account kasi wala pa silang SLP. So segue lang, Bitpinas, please check our website. We are a news publication. We cover crypto, blockchain, play to earn. We are not a marketing firm. We are not a PR agency or advertising agency. We are a news publication, and we are in the middle of a site revamp. So that said, we are looking for writers. So if you know
Mm.
GM, Biddle, Axie, and you have strong writing skills, hired na kayo. Um, but yes,
RV
anyway,
daw.
as long as you know the space that you can write well, if even if you have only working knowledge of crypto, if you are excellent and you are willing to learn and you have a very strong sense of honesty and ethics, you're welcome sa Bitpinas. So yeah, Chin.
All right. So, to introduce formally RV, I'll just go through your LinkedIn profile, which is very impressive. You've spent more than 10 years in Union Bank, dealing with business development, product management, and heading their fintech business group. And you were also part of the board in Parahub and UBX, which deals with the remittance, foreign exchange, and fintech subsidiary of Union Bank. Now you are the co-founder and CEO of Union Digital. So welcome RV to the BitPinas Webcast.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. Hi, Chin. Hi, Michael.
All right.
Chin, just
Mike.
to just to correct, I still am a board member of UBX
Okay.
and PeraHub. That's still concurrent.
All right. Thanks for clarifying that one.
Sure.
Okay. Next, Mike.
Um, let's go. No, so when Bitpinas first started covering crypto and blockchain, RB interviewed many of the crypto founders here and VCE licensees then, and many of them told me horror stories as to how banks immediately closed their accounts. So immediately, and after learning that they deal with crypto, so BCE license man sila or hindi, regular crypto guy. probably the biggest issue is risk, no? Especially at that time, 2017 and even before. So my first question to you, RB, is why Union Bank began servicing local crypto companies when no other financial institutions do?
Okay, well, thanks for having me here, guys. I mean, it's good to finally be on your show, Michael. We've been talking on and off over the years, and thank you for the coverage you've given us in Union Bank and really helping the community understand better, no, what we've been doing. So, I think I think it's good to reflect on, step back muna and say, why did we get into crypto at the first place in Union Bank, and why, to your question, diba, why were we um, sorry, what is your question? The banking of the crypto exchanges, no?
Yes.
Um, for one, we're a bank, diba? So the way we approached it was from a simple business model that they are financial institutions operating on blockchain. But if licensed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and we're able to document that properly, why can't they open a crypto account? I think you said it right. May mga risks ngayon, but that's why as a regulated entity, if we and I'm simplifying it, no, but if there's a checklist of requirements, one on the top of that list is that you are licensed by the Bangko Sentral of the Philippines, you have SEC registration. If you have all the if you have all the documents, we'll open an account, provided you pass all of that scrutiny, which is basically our way of, in a way, assessing the risk, right? If you have a license, then therefore that defrays the risk. What's your business model? So those are the things we go through, which is standard for any corporate account that you open. When you open a DTI, you check, are you registered with the SEC? Do you have the licenses? The same with the lending or finance company, no? So the approach to the blockchain and the crypto exchanges was first, at the first level, similar in terms of documentary requirements and fiduciary requirements, diba? And so that's why we open the accounts, for them. And the ones that are open are registered, regulated exchanges, licensed duly by the Bangko Sentral.
So not just in crypto, no, but you've been also very publicly committed to adopting blockchain. So in 2019, ito yung mga screenshots of Twitter coverage then. So 2019, you were in Consensus in New York discussing your blockchain initiatives together with Consensus, a big blockchain player. So shoutout muna to Consensus for breaking the story of 3.75 million users sa Philippines to BitPinas. So so Project I2I, which is connecting users to the blockchain for our viewers who don't know, so that they get connected to the national financial system, 'di ba? So napakalaking story at that time dun sa mga conference na attended. So I understand na the Project I2I is now with UBX, and then meron ding bonds.ph under TDAX. And then eto nga yung PHX stablecoin, and then Hex Trust din, may narinig kami about crypto custody. RB, what are you most proud of out of any of all these initiatives? And if you can briefly just tell us what are the current status of some of them.
Well, madali yun. For me, eye to eye talaga. And shout out to Consensus talaga. I think I can disclose, Michael Chin, that in the last investment raise of Consensus, Union Bank through UBX invested. So we're now a shareholder and equity partner of Consensus. So we view them as a very strategic partner. They built eye to eye with us. And in 2019, wala pang layer 2 nun, di ba? Puro Ethereum lang and Solidity. So, that partnership runs deep because, dinala ko sila sa Surigao. We created eye to eye in the rural bank. We spent 2 weeks there at a time with them. Talagang nakita nila yung challenges of the rural banks, 'di ba? Paano sila magpadala ng pera, wala silang access sa PesoNet InstaPay. Pag nagpapadala sila ng pera, it's through their bank accounts in other banks. So ang hirap talaga. So parang when we showed them, uy, let's build this blockchain network with Union Bank as the master node so that we can ensure that all the rural banks are safe, and uh, it was a big improvement at laking tulong talaga sa mga rural banks natin. Biro mo, because you're a rural bank ABC, you can now send to Union Bank, to other banks in real time, 'di ba? Kasi nakakabit ka sa I2I at yung I2I nakakabit sa PesoNet and InstaPay or PesoNet, 'di ba? So nakakapadala ka kaagad ng Insta. Hindi na matagal. And actually, I don't think it's here, but attached to I, I'm very proud of the Send Eye to Eye. Yung ginawa namin in the Singapore FinTech Festival in 2018, where we connected this eye to eye to OCBC Bank in Singapore. So ang pinilot namin doon was cross-border CBDC, commercial bank-backed digital currency, where OCBC received cash, minted the token, sent it to the Philippines, to I, tapos pinadala namin sa rural bank sa Surigao. Michael, Chin, that transaction took 2-3 minutes from one account in Singapore to another account in Surigao del Sur. Okay, I mean, imagine ano magagawa niya sa mga kababayan natin, di ba? Direct to account, real-time remittance. So, I'm very proud of I2I because I think we connected a huge community at saka laking tulong. Where it is now, before the pandemic, talagang dinudumog na siya kasi ang clear ng use case niya eh. Kung rural bank ka at gusto mo mag-transfer, connect ka na lang dito. UBX is the technology provider that's selling that, but that's powered by and backed by Union Bank as the settlement. And all your money, when you deposit it there, is Union Bank. So, ang laking growth nila before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, wow, it grew like 6-7x. At ang nakakagulat, when we first started kasi, so ang average transaction value, mga 300,000 pesos. So sabi ko, bakit 300,000 pesos? Yung pala, ang gumagamit yung mga rural SMEs para magbayad sa Manila at mabayaran sila. It's
Right.
only now, during the pandemic, na the rural banks are also telling their customers, gusto niyo magpadala, ganito. So they're offering it now as a service, kaya yung average transaction bumaba, pero yung volumes umakyat. So I'm happy that we helped enable, the rural banks in the pandemic. And it's not just rural banks. Any other financial institution pwedeng sumama dyan. So, I mean, that will always have a special place in my heart as maybe my most prized and favorite project. And the way we created that also, I mean, we were in a room with Consensus, Microsoft, and just brainstorming how to create that. And then, dawn of blockchain. So build kagad ng Solidity. It was an amazing experience. And that's where I really started my deep blockchain journey. Doon ko talaga nalaman ano magagawa mo sa
Use
blockchain,
cases.
ano yung use cases, ano yung ibig sabihin ng smart contract. Diba? I mean, nakita ko yung smart contract. I mean, it's code, diba? Pero okay, anong nagagawa ng smart contract? What's the use case of a smart contract, diba?
Yeah.
That really
Thanks
that
for
really blew my mind then.
Yeah, it's a good thing that you pointed that out because some of our audience who are watching this might be familiar with use cases of blockchain when it comes to like play to earn, NFTs, trading, but then they don't really see the behind the scenes of using the use cases of blockchain when it comes to like financial institutions, how it really helps, diba? Yeah,
Super,
really
super.
great project.
Yes, and it's good thing nga that you brought up the pandemic, no? And there's no publicly available chart for BCE or virtual currency transactions here in the Philippines. So we just pieced together the reports from the previous year. So from the report, BC transactions from the first half lang nito ng 2021 has already exceeded yung entirety of 2020. So, RB, ano kayong insights mo dito? Bakit transactions from 2019 to 2020? This is pandemic year pa, no? And do you think this will continue to grow?
Okay. So let's zoom out even more. What's happening in the world? The internet is evolving at a rapid pace. More people are connected, and then they're home, diba? Crypto users worldwide, we're at about 300 million users globally, and that's about the internet in 1999. Adoption is just beginning to expand. In the Philippines alone, we have between 4 to 5 million crypto users. MetaMask recently announced that Filipinos, they have about almost 3.75 million MetaMask users that are Filipino. And
Yes.
hello,
Yeah.
yeah, you can. Sorry, I lost you there. You can hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so and then you look at, so that was only 2 million 3 months ago. nung in-announce ng consensus na 10 million users sila, sabi nila 20% Filipino, so 2 million Filipino MetaMask users. Play to earn community at that time, 3 months ago, October, di ba, YGG. Medyo my article nga is outdated already. Sorry, I didn't update those facts, but that was October facts. Axie Infinity, 40% of the population is Filipino, of the Axie community. No? So, what am I saying? That parang ang nangyayari is the world is accelerating at exponential rate, and you find the Philippines once again, there in the middle of it all. We're the fourth largest growing digital economy in the world. That came from the Financial Times. Today, I think in Business World, there was an article about we're the 15th most likely to, or most heavily adopting crypto nation in the world already. It's not surprising kung nakita mo yung trends natin. Dati, texting capital of the world tayo kasi ang daling gamitin, di ba? Ngayon, and then, Facebook, we're the most engaged, di ba? In the statistics, we are actually also the most, among the adopters of e-commerce in the region, we're above the average in the region. Bakit yon? Kasi tingnan mo, yung mobile penetration natin, di ba? I mean, it's 70% mobile penetration. You're talking about a highly digital, and young, di ba, market. So, binigyan mo kami ng text, nag-text kami, naging texting capital of the world. Binigyan mo kami ng Facebook, naging Facebook capital of the world. Binigyan mo kami ng crypto, medyo hindi namin pinansin yon. Until play to earn. Nung dumating yung play to earn, o yun, di ba? So, play to earn is all of a sudden driving crypto adoption in the Philippines. Many probably don't know and don't care about the dynamics, pero dahil nagpa-play to earn sila, diba, they're driving the crypto transactions up. So I think this is gonna grow even more. Feeling ko nga baka exponentially pa nga eh. Parang the rate of change in the last 5 years, it's crazy. It's so exponential. When you look at Ethereum, let's go to Ethereum. In 2013, I believe there were only 150,000 transactions on Ethereum. You can double check on that, whether it's 150 or 100, but it's around there. And then, one, or a little higher maybe, but where it ended is 36x growth. Okay, so between 2013 and 2022, Ethereum transactions grew 36 times. I mean, that's we've never seen that kind of human adoption and exponential growth, I think, in the history of technology. So I think this is gonna get even more phenomenal for us. And that's what I'm proud of. I mean, it's the Pinoy na naman, di ba? It's the Pinoy na naman.
Follow-up question dito, RB. What do you and what do you think will accelerate or hinder crypto adoption dito sa Pilipinas? So, accelerate or hinder. Ano kaya yung makakapagpa-accelerate or makakapagpabagal or makakapag-stop ng adoption
Yeah.
dito sa atin? Or mag-stop. You were mentioning earlier that this will be exponential, di ba? Pero what?
I think what will really accelerate adoption is regulation. Regulation. And you mentioned all those things we did, Michael, in 2018, 19, 17. That's all possible because of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, who has approved everything that we've done according to their digital transformation roadmap and their digital transformation frameworks. No, so the BSPs always wanted us to be more digital in terms of money, and they've put in their roadmap so many different pieces. Obviously the VCE was a great start, diba? The EMI license, now the digital bank regulation, now we have open finance. So parang the BSP is using everything within its regulatory power and of course within the governance to really make sure that the Philippines digitizes. The target was 50% of transactions sana digital by 2025. I think we're on the way to that. In 2013, only 1% of our transactions in the Philippines were digital. We ended 2021 with 25% and growing fast. So it's becoming more and more digital. And you saw the fintechs, diba? When I was running the fintech group in the bank, we opened their doors to fintechs. everybody came in because the Philippines has always had a very open innovation and in fintech environment. So I think if that continues, that's been driving adoption. But if you think about it, the reason why we have crypto here is because the BSP has approved the exchanges. So I think that will really accelerate adoption. Now, what can challenge it or what can hinder it is definitely, I think, a lack of education.
Mm.
And I think a lack of education on many levels, right? On a corporate level, on an individual level, on an institutional level. Kasi if we don't do it right, you won't have the right regulation also, diba? So that's the tricky part there. We need education to achieve better regulation for this space if we want it to really explode.
In terms of education, are you talking about education with the regulators or with the consumers or both?
I think it has to be a collaboration with everybody, the
Mm.
regulators, the stakeholders, the community. There are a lot of challenges in this space, diba? But you can see that the BSP has navigated moving forward. Hindi sila paatras. Yung ibang countries outright banned, diba? Walang ganun dito sa Pilipinas. You have to be, of course, duly registered, fully governance, but the regulatory environment is open to those willing to follow the rules. So I think, but that requires the users needing to know what the regulations are. Ano ba talaga yung mga
Yeah.
batas when it comes to that? At yung batas talaga, guys, yung talagang ano yung tama, ano yung mali, ano nakasulat doon. So that's one, 'di ba? And why? Why is the rule for crypto like that, 'di ba? I think if you understand that the BSP is asking and I'll simplify, Chin, Michael, if you'll allow me, no. Obviously it's more complicated than this, pero simple lang ang tanong ng Bangko Sentral eh. Pera to, Philippine peso, jurisdiction nila yon, di ba? And we all
Mm.
respect that and we have to follow that to keep it safe. But the two simple questions, and I'm simplifying, is sino ka at saan galing ang pera mo? Yun yung basic, I mean, I'm simplifying money, no? Pero when you talk about a bank regulation, at a very high level, yun yung simpleng tanong ng Bangko Sentral, ng Anti-Money Laundering Council, di ba? Ng US, government, when you transfer funds there, that's the basic question. Sino ka at saan galing yung pera mo? Which is a logical question, di ba? I mean, logical question. You move money. So, yun yung basis, I guess, no? And I'll stop there because I could go on and on about that, and I think we'll cover the others in our discussion later on.
Right. So you mentioned crypto adoption in the Philippines, and this is fresh off the press. Today lang to the release. We see here in the screen Bloomberg reports that Union Bank is planning to offer trading and custodial services for cryptocurrencies. And another thing is that Union Bank picks IBM and Metaco for crypto custody. So, do you feel like with the growth of cryptocurrency adoption, this is the perfect time for Union Bank to actually offer these services to their consumers?
Well, we've been in this space for a long time. We've been in this space from the beginning, um, and we've been studying it. We've been offering trading. Earlier this year, we got institutional approval to do
Mm,
that. We're doing that. We've been doing custody as well. Even in UBX, we've been doing custody. Um, 3 years ago, we participated in the Clay node validation token of Kakao. You can look that up. We were part of the governance council of the Clay token of Kakao Bank. We've participated in all those things. So we've been offering those services. Maybe in some cases, very very specific use cases, like we're using it for our supply chain financing, for institution, for I2I, diba? I2I is blockchain. That's an ERC20 token that we're using in I2I, no? So we're doing it, and we're moving towards, yes, really preparing ourselves to make it ready for the communities we serve, the retail, to use already. But there's also a process to get there. So yeah, I mean, we're headed in that direction, and everything we've built is getting ready for that.
right. And then next slide, Mike. So here, this is a really interesting news that was released December last year. Union Digital Bank is venturing into NFTs. So, can you tell us more about this? Because this is a really interesting article that we've seen.
Well, okay, so the community that is in front of us is the play to earn community. Let me start with that. Sila yung play to earn community. They're actually, I mean, you know that Axie is the largest NFT marketplace, right? Because of the gaming. Or sorry, NFT. So OpenSea might be larger. Don't quote me on that. I'm not an expert. So go to Michael and confirm na lang. But either Axie is first or second, but definitely that's huge in the NFT space, and that's driven by the play to earn community, no. And the play to earn community is a community that we want to serve, that we wish to serve, and in fact we're serving because they're already customers. So Union Digital is actually going to service this community. We're going to be the bank for the play to earn community. We are building this bank with the metaverse in mind. We're designing this bank from the ground up with the metaverse in mind. Now, I can't get into all the details of that, but that's to say that we're thinking about it on a first principles design. How do we build this? And how do we build this metaverse ready, play
Right.
to earn ready?
And beyond play to earn, there's this quote in the article that says, bank is currently partnering with a non-government organization in the usage of NFT selling artworks in the market. So beyond play to earn, do you see NFTs and Union Bank like bridging traditional art market or traditional institutions into the metaverse?
You know, okay, I love the use case of NFTs. I love the use case of NFTs, but I think let me take you to a use case that we worked on in UBX. We worked on a use case of NFTs for tokenizing real estate. Imagine if your real estate title could be tokenized into an NFT. Um, we worked on that as a pilot experiment with Barry Lee, who's the founder of YGG. We used to work together in when she was with UBX, and she built that, and we have that capability that we can work on. Now, I like the titling, and imagine the use case of NFT titling, right? Sorry, a land titling. If you put a land title and make it into an NFT, now you have the benefits of it as an NFT. You can, number one, it's a digital representation of the land that you own, di ba? Exactly.
Mm,
Second, you can fractionalize it, di ba? Now you can borrow against that land title in whole or in part because it is an NFT, di ba? So
right.
that's another advantage that for me is very exciting. And then you can there's so many things you can do with that land title now that it's fractionalized and now that it's on the blockchain. So those use cases for me are very exciting. Of course, there's a lot of implications also, and that's the use case now. You have art, you have gaming, but there's so much more we can do with the power of the NFT, of the technology underneath NFTs when we do that. No, so those are some of the things that are really exciting, and that's something we've experimented in before. That just takes, obviously, again, marami pang kailangan gawin dyan before you launch it publicly, di ba? You have to work on,
Yeah.
working with the land registration. You have to work with the SEC, di ba? But that has never stopped us in terms of experimenting with the technology. So I'm very excited about what we can do with NFTs, be it art, be it land titling, health records,
Mm,
all of those things
definitely.
that require provenance, immutability.
Right.
Sorry, Chin, I'm gonna go on and on about NFTs if you don't stop me.
Yeah. So now we go to play to earn, which you've already discussed, and let me just tell the story that play to earn actually allowed underbanked Filipinos to handle money digitally, and then it also created opportunities for them to have their own savings, diba? So recently, you published this article on LinkedIn that play to earn is the path for a bank account. So it's you bridging play to earn communities to have access to traditional financial services. And I quote you here, Filipinos need rails that allow them to move, save, and invest their cryptocurrency earnings. So, with the popularity of Axie and play to earn games, Axie driving the boom here in the Philippines, did this actually drive people to open Union Bank accounts? Like, did you see a correlation with that?
I think so. I think that did. But there are many challenges and that's I think that's a lot of what we're facing now, with the complaints about the accounts not being handled properly, about
Mm,
about people getting notified that they have to update their account information. There are challenges in using the existing rails and the existing structures. You know, but I'll get to that later. I think let's save that for later. Let me focus on the play to earn community, and for me, what the exciting part about being able to to provide a bridge, to provide a path to a bank account. Um, and at Union Digital, like I said, we're building this with them specifically in mind. And in fact, our launch in July will be with YGG. We have a partnership with YGG, which is the largest Axie, formalized Axie guild here, I guess. That we are working with Beryl, and Beryl and I align that we want to give the Filipino play to earn community a responsible, regulated, safe bank that they can move their crypto and fiat to, and that can help them grow. Because the play to earn, this phenomenon of play to earn isn't going to go away. It's a new way of living. It's a new way
mm,
of working. And so at Union Digital, our challenge, and together with YGG, is to really create a customized uh, way of onboarding the play to earn community, a way of properly identifying them, recognizing the transactions, recognizing the play to earn as a way of living and a source of funds. And that way, eventually, when the play to earn scholar and manager can bank, then he can borrow.
right.
These guys are earning. I mean, you can't. They need rails to start, but eventually they're gonna need. I've heard stories about scholars wanting a car loan, a housing loan. They're doing well, and they want to purchase land. And why shouldn't they be allowed to purchase land? I mean, they're earning so much here. Challenges in their proof of income, di ba? But why can't they take a housing loan? I mean, when all of the structures are in place, dapat doon talaga mapunta yung yung user experience ng scholars, di ba? They should have a path to that because earning they are earning this reward, this cryptocurrency, and we need to find a way to legitimize it, and to legitimize it regulated in a safe environment. We're
Yeah,
also very worried about the growth of this space, and this is where Beryl and I align because we're very worried about this community is very important, and and there are many untrusting actors out there. There are many providers that want to other fintechs, non-banks that want to really come in. And what worries me is I don't want this community to have to borrow at predatory rates, di ba? And they have to be able to have access naman to the same financial services that other Filipinos have, especially
right.
if we can help them in that journey.
Yeah. And just to write on like what you mentioned, this is actually opening up a different behavior for Filipinos how to handle their money. Like, do you want to go to a traditional bank or do you want to go to crypto exchange? Like how you handle your money, your savings. It's really bringing up a new way for Filipinos to access financial services. So yeah, really great to know that you guys are working on financial rails for that one. Moving on to the next UBX crypto part.
Hold on, kasi ang daming alpha na binanggit ni RB, sabi niya. So yun nga, if we need writer, so para madali yung announcements natin.
I'm raising na nga my hand eh. Ako na lang. Yeah.
So yeah, ito na yung RB, UB is regarded as mentioned, crypto-friendly bank, the most crypto-friendly bank in the Philippines. You just need, one or two government IDs, if I remember correctly. And I think you can also open an account using the mobile app based on the commercials I keep seeing. And now a lot of us don't really, most people don't know how banks really work. So in the picture is an infographic on how a P2P transaction works. So with this RB, so siguro yun nga, you were mentioning earlier, kaya man i-simplify ito. So, how does UB interfaces with Binance? Ito yung pinaka-question is, paano ba nakakarating yung funds mula sa Binance papunta sa bank account namin? Ano ba yung usual na pinagdadaanan nito bago ito makarating sa aming bank account?
Okay, so i-break down muna natin yung P2P transaction kasi I think importante dito na importante na malinaw na there's no direct link with Binance to Union Bank. Okay, Binance is the world's largest exchange, yes, but they're not established or regulated or organized or approved by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So wala silang access to the Philippine peso directly. Okay, you cannot send money from a Binance wallet to a Philippine peso account. What you do is through a P2P transaction, you exchange your crypto, di ba? So the nature ng P2P, di ba? Pareho tayo na sa Binance. Sasabihin ko, oh Mike, bigay ko sa iyo yung aking 100 USD, bibigyan mo ako ng 5,000 pesos sa Union Bank account ko o sa ibang Philippine bank account ko, di ba? Pero yung pesos, pinapadala mo hindi sa Binance, di ba? Pinapadala mo sa InstaPay or account to account, di ba? Tapos, pag natanggap ko, sasabihin ko sa Binance, release. Diba? So, si Binance, hindi niya hinahawak yung Philippine peso eh. So, importante yan. Wala siyang jurisdiction sa Philippine peso kasi wala siyang karapatan humawak ng Philippine peso. Kaya wala siyang hinahawak ng Philippine peso even ngayon. And that's they're not violating any laws. I'm just saying they're not authorized by the Bangko Sentral to handle Philippine pesos. Hindi kagaya ng PDAX, 'di ba? Or coins. Yung PDAX, Philippine Digital Asset Exchange, coins, 'di ba? Approved, regulated and established ng Philippine Central Bank. Si Abra hindi rin siya approved. Kaya walang peso yung Abra. Dati nandiyan kami sa Abra. Dati Union Bank was a way to pay. In fact, Abra was one of my first customers in 2016. Pero they were before the VCE registration pa, Michael eh. So ang nangyari, nung nagkaroon ng VASP registration, hindi pa nila nakompleto yung requirements nila. So ngayon, pending pa yung VASP license nila. Hanggat makompleto nila yung license. Pero that's why discontinue sila. So we couldn't deal with the fiat part with them, no. So who can we deal Philippine peso with and who can deal in Philippine peso? Only Philippine regulated exchanges. And that's coins, correct? And then that's PDAX. For example lang, I mean, there are others, pero for example lang. So pag nandun naman, ang nangyayari doon, pag nagbenta ka ng crypto sa PDAX, si PDAX yung nagpapadala sa account mo ng Philippine pesos. Siya mismo ang, okay, akin na yung USDC mo, ako magpapadala ng pesos. Wala nang P2P. Siya yung source ng Philippine pesos. In the Binance P2P example, it's actually the individual. Ikaw yung may US dollar tether, ako yung may Philippine peso. Mag-exchange tayo sa Binance ng USD, di ba? Pero yung peso bibigay mo sa akin sa peso. So I think I want to make sure that's and please help me Chin, Mike, if that's not clear, and especially to the viewers, because I want to make sure klaro yung relationship na yun. So because the next stage is important eh. So very clear yun. In Binance, para siyang Uber eh. You're applying for a Uber car on the Uber platform, pero you transact cash offline or through PayPal or Visa, di ba? The payment is on the platform. The transaction, you're booking a car is on the platform, but you can pay cash offline.
Yeah, and to clarify it further for our audience, yun nga, peer-to-peer is just like me and Mike transacting with each other, and uh, Binance or a centralized exchange like mediating and making sure that there's trust between us. Yeah, i-accept ko sa Binance na nakuha ko yung pera ni Mike, so i-release ni Binance yung kapalit na cryptocurrency. And it's different for Filipino registered cryptocurrency exchanges like PDAX, Coins, and many others.
Yes.
And Chin, just to add to that lang,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to be clear lang ah. Yung sinabi mong peer-to-peer, di ba? Kung binigyan mo si Mike ng pesos for his crypto, or binigyan mo siya ng Ethereum, well, if it happens on Binance, bigyan mo siya ng Ethereum, nag-peer-to-peer exchange kayo, di ba? Pero in terms of regulation, wala ka naman VASP eh. So strictly speaking, the only one licensed to trade crypto to crypto, or maybe let's say crypto to Philippine peso, the only one licensed to trade crypto to Philippine peso is a BSP regulated exchange. In the strictest sense of the word. Ha? In the strictest sense of the word. Pero tingnan mo, I mean, that's why also marami siguro natatakot na, magsesira na yung Binance. You know, kung gusto ng BSP iutos yun, bukas sarado na yun lahat eh. Pero they're not doing that. Okay, they're not doing that. But if you think about it, in the strictest sense of the word, you are, as an individual, trading cryptocurrency when you do not have a virtual asset service provider license, which is served and saved for crypto registered exchanges. I mean,
Right.
I'm just pointing that out kasi that's really the technical letter of the law, no? Pero syempre, again, our regulators are very open and very forward-looking and saying, no, di ba? We will leave it to the banks to regulate. We will work with proper information, KYC, to make that better.
Right.
Yeah. So, yun nga, clear naman yung now, ito na yung RB, with reports of, account, ito nga, may mga reports of account closures related to P2P trading, which can go a bit later, actually, mga ilang seconds lang. And so ngayon, right now, the crypto trading community in the Philippines is actually worried that UB is no longer crypto friendly. Because alam mo yan, saan kami magka-cash out, saan tayo magka-cash out. So, obviously, your support for crypto, as mga binabanggit mo kanina, has enabled, Filipinos, like, who are doing play to earn, those who are doing P2P, to have access to a traditional bank account. So that's where they can, put their crypto earnings for the first time. Now, we now see a lot and read a lot of social media posts about UP clients being asked to, close their accounts because they do P2P crypto transactions. So much of these much of these reports came after the video hacking incident. So siguro ito yung two-part question, no? Is there anything wrong with the video incident? And what is UB's response to these reports? Specifically, bakit pa ang dami lately na nako-close na UB accounts? Nag-tighten ba ng, um, restrictions or what?
Michael, you're getting a little. Is it me or am I choppy?
I think it's Mike who's choppy, but just to rephrase like what Mike mentioned, is there a connection with the video incident and then the closure of accounts of Union Bank users who are dealing with crypto transactions? That's the first question.
Well, I can't speak for BDO. They've disallowed transfers to Union Bank. Um, I can't speak for that. On our side, no, that incident has no bearing. And in fact, I think I want to clarify. I mean, not that it has no bearing, but that's not the reason why these crypto accounts, which we were doing before the BDO incident, we were already looking into them. I'll go back to my original statement, diba? So, ang kailangan malaman ng BSP is sino ka and then saan galing yung pera. Ang nangyayari kasi is kung marami kang transactions at saka high volume, that will trigger the proper controls na parang okay, you're transacting a lot, what are the sources of funds and where is it coming from? We have to ascertain, which is part of the regulatory requirement, that this money is not illegal, money laundering, terrorist, hindi ka. So in the traditional way, we would normally prove it. So for example, nagbenta ka ng lupa, biglang meron kang 2 million na pumasok sa account mo. Tatanungin ka ng bangko saan galing po yung 2 million? Broker ako sa real estate. So yan ang commission ko. Or nagbenta ako ng lupa. Ito yung prueba na meron akong lupa na binenta. At tapos okay na. So I guess ang ibig ko sabihin doon, Shin and Mike, is that before we even start talking about whether it's a crypto related transaction, the amount and then the volume will automatically trigger regulatory requirements and questions. So that's first, no. Second, uh, the Banco Central has allowed, for the meantime, screenshots of Binance transactions. So until we can actually get chain analysis data at a granular level and provide blockchain, I mean, they're open enough to say, look, for now, we can use these screenshots to use together with other enhanced due diligence and requirements. I think dun tayo nahirapan kasi we're I hear you, I understand you. We're trying to address this community and what this needs. It's a challenge because of what's existing. So, when you have an account in Union Bank, tapos may malaking transaction, yun ang nangyayari. They ask you about the transaction. But I want to clarify that, first of all, the accounts are not closed right away. Okay, if ever they're put on hold and then they're asked for more information until they can hurdle that. Kasi it's a real regulatory risk. Pag hindi namin nasagot, RV, saan galing yung 1 million pesos mo? I mean, yun ang part ng lisensya namin sa bank na, kailangan mo masagot yan. Kilala mo ba si Arvie de Vera? Oo, kilala ko yan. May ID ka niya? May ID ka niya. Saan galing yung pera niya? Diba? O galing sa Binance. Okay, galing sa Binance, which crypto transaction? Now, that's still crude now because obviously a screenshot's not the best way to do it. Pero yun ang challenge because you're talking about a traditional crypto is new, right? It's not like we've had the way to process what these transactions are. So in my mind, I'm thinking about, remember, internet transactions in 10 years ago were also not accepted as legitimate transactions. No? There's a gap pa between what the form of the information is versus what I can give you today. So crypto, mahirapan natin maintindihan yan. That takes a while, so we can show proof. But if I show you a land title or a deed of sale, then it's much easier to prove it. So those are the documents that we need to work through as an institution, and not just us, actually, everyone. Kasi yun ang nakalagay sa batas eh. Yun ang nakalagay sa account opening. Again, source of funds and who are you. And those are the things we have to comply with. I guess I'll ask for some patience from the community. We're working at this. We're taking it very seriously in Union Bank and definitely in UnionDigital. I'm building UnionDigital with that in mind. Now, my advantage in UnionDigital, of course, is because I'm building from scratch with no policies, with new technology. I can reimagine and build this right from the ground up. Diba? The challenge in Union, I mean, even when we built eye to eye and all that, we already had all these structures up, all these policies and governance procedures, and then we have to tailor fit it to blockchain. Ang hirap nun, diba? And that was, I mean, I'm amazed at what my team and I were able to do, and the BSP had approved. But that was very challenging. But madugo yung proseso no, risk assessments, governance, approvals. And those are the things we're working on. And the community, I know, is a little impatient about it and maybe worried. But I think I'd like to assure you that both Union Bank and Union Digital are working because we value this community, and we'll get this right sooner rather than later, I hope. And definitely in Union Digital, when we launch pa lang, ayos na. I mean, it's done right? So because we are starting from scratch, it's much easier to do that.
Thank you, RB, for that. Ngayon, i-address na natin, no? I mean, there are some questions right now that I think we can sum up with what I'm going to bring up. And but some are also saying that some of the reports that we've seen that their manager or their RM is saying that P2P is no longer allowed. But, ito yung but, there are also some social media posts saying na, sabi ng RM nila, pwede. My initial guess here is that baka may miscommunication between the RM and the directive or what. We recently got an inquiry um, that his name was dragged, by dun sa internet, and despite, presenting all the documents, his account still got closed. So, I'm asking you, medyo haba, I'm asking you this because you also mentioned in our interview last time, you can go to Binance right now and see that P2P Union Bank is still allowed. So as you can see, there are completely anecdotal reports, and I know we cannot discuss specific customers or situations. But for the people here, yung P2P ho ba is no longer allowed, or is it still allowed?
What do you mean allowed? What do you mean, Michael?
Is P2P something that if I do P2P and I have a Union Bank account, is it still allowed? Kasi yun yung sinasabi ng iba that P2P is no longer allowed because Binance has a license or something like that.
Um, I'm looking at Binance. It's still Union Bank is still here, and so are other bank transfers. So yeah,
So
pwede
for
pa.
the
Right.
viewers right now who are not satisfied with the way their accounts got closed, do they have a recourse, or what else can they do? So
Well,
if you may
okay. You have a relationship manager. Um, we're working on, and we need, yeah, we need to work on the communications. I'll give that feedback back, and we'll work on that. But your relationship manager and the branch where you open the account is your real point of contact there. So for me, if you have received correspondence from Union Bank, you can reply to that and address that. And I suggest you have a conversation with your relationship manager about what you need to do to comply. Because on the other side of that, you don't hear are the stories of those that comply. And we've received plenty cooperation also from this community. But again, I said it's not that easy to bridge that, no. So we're working with the different units, the different relationship managers, and the different customers also. Kasi iba-iba yung context nila. But yes, please, if you're in touch with your relationship manager, they're the best point of contact to help you navigate that.
Right. Thanks for answering that, RV. That's like one of the frequently asked questions. Like ever since the video hacking incident happened, a lot of people are complaining, and they wanted to hear back from Union Bank or on how to actually comply and make sure that their accounts are still safe and they can still access it. So, for those who are asking many questions about that, just have your relationship manager speak with them and then comply with what Union Bank really needs for you guys to actually access your account. Okay, moving on to Union Digital. Um, it's the fourth applicant to be granted a digital bank license, and there's only six licenses available here in the Philippines. You've mentioned like your plans for Union Digital throughout this webcast, and what else can we expect from this digital banking platform?
Um, well, so Union Digital, I guess, Chin, let me start with why a digital bank.
Mm,
If we were already a very digital bank, why did we have to create another digital bank? Again, the digital bank license, if I can just for the sake of the viewers, for them to understand, there's a it's a separate license, which means it has separate capabilities, no. And to summarize, ano magagawa ng digital bank, 'di ba, na hindi magagawa ng Union Bank? Or the reverse, ano magagawa ng Union Bank na hindi magagawa ng Union Bank? Iba yung lisensya nila. So dahil iba yung lisensya nila, kahit medyo pareho yung magagawa nila in terms of loan, deposit taking, how they do it, nagkakaiba. For one, as a digital bank, bawal ako magkaroon ng branches. No branches. Si Union Bank, pwede magka-branch. Ako, it's in my regulation, bawal. Diba? So, if I take that alone, that already means na I can only have a digital offering and only be completely in the digital space, diba? So therefore, mandated in my license is kailangan lahat ng proseso ko digital. Wala akong papel, wala akong cash. Everything, according to the regulation, everything in a digital bank has to be, all transactions and payment services have to be conducted in electronic manner, end to end. Okay? So all of a sudden, wala akong physical, wala akong paper. So that dramatically changes my business model and my cost structure, right? In the main bank, they are allowed to have branches, and the branches have been very helpful in helping us grow and adopt. The challenge there is the cost structure of the branches. Mahal rin yung branches, and kahit anong mangyari, we're gonna have branches, and yung cost ng branches na, well, in a way, dati napapasoan yan sa customer. Kung alala mo, dati uso pa yung average daily balance, di ba? For every customer, you have to have an average daily balance. Kasi ang dami yung branches, or diba, there's a legacy infrastructure. There's actually cost for paper. May vault talaga sila na may pera, steel vault. So mas mahal talaga magpatakbo ng universal bank because you have to run all those things. And then the cost of governance, diba? You really have to have governance because you're looking at a lot of paper, you're looking at a lot of manual processes. Ang nagawa ng digital bank license, tinanggal lahat ng heavy burden of that, which is actually why nahirapan tayo to achieve more financial inclusion, because the banks, we can serve down market. It's just very expensive. Hindi mo maabot yung bottom ng pyramid. You can't serve the magsasakas and all that kung minimum daily balance mo is what, 5, 10,000, 15,000. That cost structure can't happen. So in a purely digital bank where you have to be end-to-end electronic, your cost structure changes, and now you can offer everything digitally. I can offer digital loans in a very digital execution. So, Chin, kung hihiram ka ng pera, iba yung interest rate mo sa interest rate ni Arvie. Iba rin yung interest rate ko sa interest rate ni Michael. Bakit? Kasi iba-iba yung credit score natin. Diba? Si Arvie, writer ni Michael. So, si Michael yung boss. So, mas mataas yung credit score ni Michael. So, mas makakautang si Michael. So, si Michael can borrow 10,000 pesos at 3% dahil siya yung boss. Si Arvie gets paid less as a writer. He has to pay 6%. Pero 5,000 lang ang papautang ko sa kanya. That level of customization is now possible in a purely digital bank. No? So, for me, that's what's exciting. The technology, parang blank piece of paper ang binigay sa'yo. It's totally first principles design. So now you can reimagine, paano ko ba gagawin to? This kind of banking, how will I do it scratch? I don't have to say, okay, kailangan ko gamitin to, kailangan ko ikabit to, or kailangan ko gamitin to. Hindi. Clean piece of paper. Hindi na kailangan, wala nang branch, so hindi na kailangan mag personal appearance. Wala nang papel, so wala na akong signature card. So pwede na talaga pure digital onboarding. Selfie lang. Pero kailangan yung ID secure. Sigurado na hindi siya fake, di ba? Kailangan na alam ko si Michael yan, si Chin. And the technology allows for that. So that's exciting. I mean, in Union Bank, when we first launched the digital account opening 3 years ago, di ba, the question was, but the regulation means you have to do face-to-face. No, the regulation never said that you had to do face-to-face. The regulation said you had to ascertain that that's really Michael and Arvie de Vera opening the account. And dati, si Chin talaga yan, si Chin. Ito yung ID niya. Ito, si Chin yan. Eyeballing at the branch was considered secure. That was before technology came. Now that technology can ascertain with 95% accuracy that the picture on this ID, which is 92% accurate, that it's a Philippine SSS ID, is Arvie de Vera. That's more KYC to me. That's more safe, and that's regulatory more acceptable than somebody in the branch looking at your ID and looking at you and saying, okay, ma'am, thank you. And then you signing on a signature card, wet signature, diba?
Yeah. So with Union Digital like launching this year, can we expect like more crypto features or crypto friendly features in the platform?
Oh, definitely. And I'm gonna launch in July. We have that's our license launch, and I'm gonna service the play to earn community. I don't. I'm a native of the blockchain space, guys. I mean, I've been doing this. Michael, you covered that stuff. So I've been doing crypto, and I also do play to earn. I have almost 300 teams. I
What?
know the pain points of moving SLP to fiat. I know this space because I'm a user of this space. I mean, I have crypto. I have several wallets. A lot of it to study how they're doing it, to learn, and a lot of it also to appreciate the customer experience, no. Pero I mean, it's personal to me kasi alam ko yung hirap ng play to earn kasi I'm like that. I mean, I'm an investor, of course. I don't have time, no, but I have managers I work with. But naintindihan ko yung movement and mahal, bagal, 'di ba? Why can't you offer scholars loan on their SLP coming up, about to be earned? I mean, that should be all possible with digital and blockchain. So that stuff excites me.
Yeah,
That stuff
very
excites me.
exciting.
And yes, we're gonna have a Union Digital token. It's gonna be
Mm.
called. It's gonna be a Philippine Peso Union Digital token, stable coin, back to the Philippine Peso, backed by your deposit in Union Digital, and it's gonna be called PHD.
Is
That's
this
the
the
ticker.
first time that you mentioned Union Digital launching its coin? Is this an
It's
exclusive?
Yes, it is, ma'am, and you can quote me on that. The ticker is PHD.
Mm.
It'll be a stable coin backed by the Philippine Peso in your Union Digital account.
Okay.
Shoutout ko lang yung ano, yung may writer kami na nanonood. Paki-ano na sa Trello 'to.
Ako na nga yung
Yung
writer. Sabi ko kasi ako na nga yung writer
oo
mo,
nga, eh.
Michael. May article na ako, ready na ako.
So, Arby, can you answer some questions? We have something very interesting here from John Sadano. So,
Mm.
flash ko na. So, ang question, ay, nawala si Arby. Hold on.
Ayan. He's here.
I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. So, ang question is, yun nga, what's stopping other banks from being as open to crypto as UB? So, if anything, this is what we are seeing is that, if anything, more banks have turned their heads away from crypto except UB.
I can't speak for the other banks,
Yeah.
but I can appreciate, and this is where I say education. No, you have to learn it, and for me, the education starts by doing it. You can't just talk about crypto. We built eye to eye. I saw the coders right beside me. I tried it myself. You have to get your hands into it to learn it. It's a very complicated space. Iba yung iba yung journey siguro nila. I mean, sa amin sa Union Bank and now sa Union Digital, we've always been about innovating, 'di ba? Parang learning the technologies, it was the internet, it was apps, and now it's blockchain. So, we'll always learn the technologies. And again, I'll bring you back. You remember eye to eye. So, use case yung pinupuntahan namin in that sense, no? We weren't thinking about it as blockchain, as Bitcoin. Parang, uy, okay itong technology na to Anong magagawa dito? Smart contracts? Code? I mean, dApps? Seryoso? Diba? Pwedeng, I mean, and then, it's democratized. I mean, don't even get me started on DAOs and all of
That's for
that.
another episode.
It's for another episode. Sige, sige. Sorry, John. I hope I
Thank-
answered your question, but that's a long story. And it's also a journey. I mean, crypto is, you know, I don't think a bank can just say today, oh, I'm going to do this today. The experience in this space has to be earned. And I think, the experiments we've done, the learning, those 4 years are, yun yung tuition namin yun yung education namin also. So, it's also not a very easy space to navigate, no? You have to have a certain, and I think I'll go back to why we wanted to do it. We wanted to solve complex problems. And we saw an opportunity with blockchain technology to do just that. So the complex problem solving was the main issue. And then, so it's not like it's a use case it's not like blockchain looking for a use case. It's the reverse. These are some of the biggest financial inclusion problems. Oh, one of the biggest problems is yung mga rural banks natin are
Yeah.
themselves financially included. Paano natin makokonekto, di ba? Via blockchain. So, solution and then the technology. But that requires na you don't turn away, hindi, bad yan. Hindi, pag-aralin natin. Anong risk dyan? Anong good dyan? Anong bad dyan? Paano?
All right. Thank you, Arvi, for answering John's question. I think we have one more, Mike.
Yeah, this one is from Enrique. How can guild, so one explanation, RB knows guilds and knows P2E. So how can guilds work with banks to serve their communities?
Good one.
Insights.
Mm.
Wait for Union Digital.
Okay, so
Do you have one more question?
mm,
Or that's it?
etong yeah, um, mm eto lang, siguro from Joy, um, you know, is UB will take an active role in educating Filipinos in crypto?
For
I
Joy,
remember you have I remember yung blockchain accelerator if I remember correctly that.
I think it was also Joy kanina who commented that acceleration needs regulation. Siya yung nag-comment na kanina na ganun. Tama. I mean, yeah, Joy. I mean, we will take an active role in both Union Bank and Union Digital and even UBX. Our goal is to innovate, but also to regulate and educate, because that's when you take care of the community, that's what will drive mass adoption. So it will require a lot of education, but it'll require use cases as well. No? So we're going to work with the different communities we serve across those institutions. Union Bank, Union Digital, and UBX are all doing that with the purpose of driving adoption, but syempre educating along the way. Which is why I like the eye to eye again, because ang hirap, di ba? Michael, kung pumunta ka sa rural, tapos sinabi mo, oh, mag-blockchain kayo, patay ka doon. Di ba? Pero we went to the rural bank, sabi namin, oh, makaka-peso net kayo. Di na nila alam na blockchain yung ilalim di ba?
Yeah.
Di ba? And then they
Maybe,
use it, and then even their people use it, and I bet you, Chin, most of them don't even know it's blockchain up to now underneath.
yeah. They might be intimidated with just the word or doesn't really fully understand its capabilities. That's why. Okay. And
Yeah, so
then,
I think that's it. So thank you very much Sir RB for this more than an hour na tayo on our
oo nga.
show and siguro raffle ito po we have entry so 500 SLP so baka magka SLP sa Union Digital wallet natin in the future pero for now draw tayo.
I think you have to show your screen, Mike.
Ay hindi na show, hold on,
Sige.
wala paano to teka hold on,
There
siya
you
yung
go.
nanalo. Pwede ba to RB
Rico J! Rico J! Kilala ko yan si Rico J. Uh, he's
okay
a
so
union banker. He's a union banker, and he knows his crypto. He's one of us. Yan si Rico. Baka nga marami na rin yung Axie scholars yan si Rico J. So, congrats, Rico.
500 SLP.
so
Nice.
next
Okay.
one.
The last winner for tonight. Ayan.
HJ Galang, sporting avatar. So
Oh, yeah.
nanalo ang 500 SLP to your mag-message ka lang sa BitPinas. And hopefully yung mga nanalo kunin niyo na yung SLP kasi yung iba hindi kinukuha. So ayun. So thank you so much RB and this has
Yeah,
been
thank you, RV.
an eye-opening event for us. And Sheena, so yeah, RP, so where can people find you? And if you have any other final say?
Yeah, Union
Sorry?
Digital, how can people get to know more about Union Digital if there's any Facebook or LinkedIn accounts you wanna
Mm-mm.
direct people to?
Yeah, that's coming soon. So I direct you to my LinkedIn for now. And then from there, you'll see the company page. But my LinkedIn is going to be a good source of information and
Mm-hmm.
a good way to connect. I'm going to publish more articles similar to that, and hopefully we can help educate the community and other stakeholders in the process. So thank you for having me, Michael Chin. It's great to be here and speak to the community about this.
Thank you, RB. And Chin, where can people find you?
They can find me at Twitter. It's at Chinny, double I, and then three na Y's. So it's kind of hard, but you can find me on Twitter to see like later on updates and anything crypto.
Yeah, so
Yep.
this is Michael from BitPinas. Yun, mag-ingat sa scammers. We'll never ask you to give us crypto.
Michael, I'm
Again,
sorry, just to
mhm.
correct lang. I'm also on Twitter, Arvie de Vera
Mm.
on Twitter, and then LinkedIn. So please, guys, if you want to reach out or have questions, I'll try to answer. Please, if I'm not, I'm busy building the bank, so pasensya lang po kung hindi maka-reply. And happy to
Yeah, and
come back and have another session on DAOs, Michael.
that's for the
Sige.
next episode. All right. Thank you so
So
much,
yeah, so
RV.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. So again, ignorance is expensive. Read and watch everything that you can. Beat Pinas Livecast, Webcast, signing up. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.